Hi, welcome to our learning experience. In this class today, we will teach you about the eye.
The first part of the eye that we're going to talk about is the pupil. The pupil is a hole located in the center of the iris of the eyes that allows light to enter the retina. The size of the pupil determines the amount of light that enters the eye. The pupil appears black because light rays entering the pupil are either absorbed directly or absorbed after diffuse reflections within the eye. The image that is seen from outside the eye is called the entrance pupil, which does not exactly correspond to the location and size of the pupil because it is magnified by the cornea, which we'll talk about later. The pupil gets wider and dark, but narrows in light. Some drugs, such as alcohol, cause pupil dilation.
Hi, I'm Phil Cook, and I will be talking about the iris. Alright, so for a fun fact, the word iris is taken from the Greek goddess of the rainbow due to the many colors of the iris. Now, there are two layers of the iris. There's a front layer and a back layer. The front layer is a pigmented stroma, and it holds blood vessels and nerves. The back layer is pigmented epithelial cells. So the iris controls the dilating of the pupils. So it controls the light entering the eye by use of a circular motion that opens and closes it. There are two major regions of the iris. There's the pupillary zone, the inner region, whose edge forms the boundary of the pupil. And there's the ciliary zone, the rest of the iris that extends the origin at the ciliary body.
Hi, the next part of the eye that we're going to talk about is the optic nerve. The optic nerve transmits visual information from the retina to the brain. It does this by transmitting electrical impulses from the retina to the brain. Damage to the optic nerve typically causes permanent or potential severe loss of vision. The optic nerve is the second of 12 cranial nerves, but is also considered to be part of the nervous system.
So I will be talking again about the ciliary body. The ciliary body is the circumferential tissue that's inside of the eye and is composed of the ciliary muscle and ciliary processes. It is located on the outside of the iris, and it's mostly triangular in a horizontal section. It anchors the lens in place, and the ciliary muscle contracts to see close objects better. When the ciliary muscle relaxes, it flattens the lens and improves focus on farther objects.
The cornea is the transparent front part of the eye that covers the iris, pupil, and anterior chamber. The cornea refracts light, accounting for 2/3 of the eye's optical power. There are 5 layers of the cornea: corneal epithelium, Bowman's layer, Descemet's membrane, corneal endothelium, and corneal stroma.
And if your tear ducts work with your eyelashes and your eyelids to keep your eyes from getting dry. Because if they do get dry, then that causes a lot of problems. And there are 2 kinds of glands. There's the puncta gland and there's the lacrimal gland. And the lacrimal gland produces the tears. And it's located on your upper eyelid or like behind your eye. And the puncta is where the tears like flow, and they go from the puncta to the canalicula, and from the canalicula they go to like the corner of your eyes and you cry. And the tear ducts are really important because if you didn't have them, then all the dirt and bacteria that get into your eyes every day would stay there, and you'd get a lot of diseases, and it'd be bad.
The eyelid is a thin fold of skin that protects your eye. It's one of the thinnest pieces of skin on your body, and it has a row of eyelashes on the top and the bottom, and it protects the eye from dust and perspiration. And then there's the retina. It's the light sensitive layer of tissue lining the inner surface of the eye, The optic of the eye creates an image of the visual world on the retina, and it's like the film in a camera.
The next part of the eye that we're going to talk about is the anterior chamber. The anterior chamber is a fluid-filled space inside the eye between the iris and the cornea's innermost surface, the endothelium. Aqueous humor is a fluid that fills the anterior chamber. The normal depth of anterior chamber of the eye is 3.5 millimeters to 2.5 millimeters.